Here we are.
All right.
Oh, you know what I was thinking we should say? At the beginning of every episode, we don't ever say who we are and what we're doing.
Are we taping right now?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. I'm Peggy Allen. Who
and
are you?
I'm Amanda Keevitt.
Are you sure?
I don't know. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
And we are Junction Fiber Mill, and this is the Millcast. So
coming to you, not quite live from White River Junction, Vermont. Now, a lot of people don't know where White River Junction is. It's halfway up the state on the east side of the state.
So if you think we're like right next to New Hampshire, so you can actually pretty much see New Hampshire from the mill.
Right. What separates New Hampshire and Vermont is the Connecticut River, and it's right there.
Yep.
We could go swimming if we wanted, although not today.
Yeah, so we're about, 3 hours from Boston.
Oh, less than that. No, 2 hours and 15.
2 hours and 15 from Boston, depending on traffic.
Yeah, definitely. Traffic is a factor.
And then we're a couple hours sort of like southeast from Montreal and about 5-6 hours from New York City. So probably 5 hours from here. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's a great place to live.
It is, and today the sun is shining on us.
Yes,
we always love that.
Yeah. And we're wearing au naturel today. We are both wearing our sheep wool.
I was wondering what you meant with au naturel, because I did put a little bit of mascara on.
Oh, no.
I look sleepy.
No, you're wearing your natural colored wool from your flock,
yeah.
and I'm wearing from my flock. And I finally finished it. This is the sweater that I had done the neck and I hated it.
Yeah.
And I get, I'm really bad at finishing things. Like, don't look at the inside of this. I didn't.
It's okay.
Yeah. So I redid it. I did a little blocking, and
it looks great.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, you'll have to drop the pattern in the notes.
Well, there isn't one.
Oh, you made this one up.
Yeah.
You're so creative.
I used that Ann Budd book.
Yeah.
And then I just go, okay. I saw this was from an Ann Stratmore.
We'll put a link to the book. How about that?
Yeah.
So you've got your Morit Corriedale yarn. From what year was that? Do you remember?
Oh, last year.
Oh, this was spun here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this was spun here too. This was so it's the same breed of sheep, just a different coloration. And yeah, it's knit together with some mohair silk.
Right.
Which gives it that the glow.
Yeah, it has a little bit of the glow.
This is the petite knit zipper sweater. So I've got
which I would never be brave enough to tackle that.
Wasn't that hard, but it felt pretty empowering to add a zipper. And it's so practical and cozy.
Yeah. Zippers and buttons, not my friends. Anyway, big weekend.
Oh my gosh, it was
big.
Yeah, it's basically like Christmas for a sheep farmer.
Christmas in March.
Yeah, so we sheared the sheep this weekend.
Right, and we should be clear.
Yeah, we did
shear the sheep.
We did a lot of skirting of the fleeces, but our amazing shearer Gwen Hinman sheared all of our sheep.
Right. She shears about 10,000 sheep a year. She is exceptional. Her dad was a sheep shearer, and when she's shearing the sheep, she's doing three things. She's trimming their hooves, she's shearing them, and she gives them a quick. It's called CDT. It's a
annual vaccine.
Annual vaccine, and she basically does one sheep in about 7 minutes.
It's incredible.
Yeah, you're going to see video of her in action. So we were at our farm. We had 32 sheep that needed to be shorn, and we had a crew there to help us out.
Yeah.
A lot of them were our immediate neighbors who came up and helped us out. Gorgeous day. Earlier in the week, it was threatening rain, and that would have been a real problem.
Well, it did actually rain the day prior, but you were able to get your sheep
I had mine in the barn.
Mine were pretty soggy.
Yeah.
Which is why I brought their fleeces pretty much directly to the mill and washed them right away. Because you don't want the fleece sitting around in bags wet.
And I have some that are wet because they just were.
Yeah.
But we got them in the day before, but we didn't take the jackets off because the barn, was a blank show. Begins with an SH. And I was like, you spend all year trying to keep that fleece clean, and I was like going, nope, we're taking the jackets off, crack of dawn.
Right.
And oh my God, just gorgeous, clean.
Yeah, Peg's fleeces looked amazing. So did mine, but the jackets, we should say, are they're not for warmth. It's a common misconception. The sheep are perfectly warm. I would say they're a little chilly today, though, after their fleeces got off. But
because as soon as it happens every year, you shear, and then the next morning,
cold snap.
The temperature drops.
Yeah, all
it's
of my
a little
sheep
chilly.
are in our. So we only have 5, and we've got, instead of a barn, we have a little converted wood shed where we used to keep our wood, and it works like fine. The sheep don't really hang out in there. It's kind of just keeps their food dry. But now that they're about a third of their size without the fleece, they can all
fit in really,
there, which they did yesterday with the wind blowing, and it was so cold they were in there. I felt bad for them, but what can you do? But yeah, it was phenomenal. Sunshine day. I was unable to be on the crew at Peggy's for most of the time because I'm on childcare duty.
Well, you came by. She had a chance to see the scene.
Yeah, my husband Cody does some sheep wrangling over there.
Yep.
And
we had other wranglers too. It was we had a lot of hands helping us out.
Yeah, and Peg always makes a good spread. You had the
we had some good
soup
sandwiches, some cocoa, and my sister Eileen, who helps out a lot, she makes this bunt cake with a family recipe to die for.
Yeah.
Really good. That's what I should actually put on. Whoa, it's really good.
You should share the secret recipe.
Yeah, it's Dolly's Cake, an old family friend. Yeah, so shearing was great, and very excited to, it's great to process other people's wool. It's great. We love it. You get to experience all these different fibers. But there's nothing like processing your own wool.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I sort of ran. So I didn't, on Saturday night, I was too whooped to get in here.
Yeah.
So but I ended up coming on Sunday, and it was actually great. Anastasia was working, which she normally doesn't on the weekends, and I sort of made a little area to work on my cutting out some sewing patterns that I'm working on. Rather than doing it at home, I used our big space and our tables, and it was great. It was awesome. So meanwhile, I was running back and forth to the scouring.
Yeah.
I sort of maxed out our sinks and scoured all my 5 fleeces at once.
That's
I think
great.
They got mostly clean, but this one is from Maisie.
Look how she's grayed out.
Yeah, so this is the same sheep, believe it or not, that is in this sweater.
Yeah.
This is like her first 2 years of fleece, I think, combined together, or maybe just her lamb's wool. And this is her, what is she, 3 or 4 now. So this is the sort of, what would you call this color? Just dark.
A gray. Now the tips get bleached out by the sun, and that will disappear when it all gets blended.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely gray.
Yeah, and hers is our coarser fleece, but I end up knitting the most with her. I don't really know why that happens. And then I'm just laughing because this is like, probably many of you sitting at home will relate to this, but I have my 5 sheep, and because I own a mill, which is amazing, I get to keep them all separate, so these all have names.
Right, of course.
So so this is Regulus. He is our, he's just totally black, and it's awesome. This is his second year, his second shearing, and his first year's yarn was jet black, and I think this is going to be pretty close to jet black again this year.
Yeah.
You can see the tips are bleached out.
This feels lovely.
Oh, it's beautiful. This was, so I bred my 2 original ewes that came from Peg's flock, of which Maisie was one, and bred them at her farm with her ram, Isaac, who has got great fleece.
Phenomenal fleece.
So that's what kind of goes into the fineness of this, and it's just gorgeous. And then I think this is Wilhelmina, one of our other lambs, who again was bred with Isaac. Super gorgeous. I might need to rewatch. This is the only one I think is a little bit of a grease ball. But I wanted to bring it on to show you how cute the blonde tips are on this.
Right, and this is a Morit. So this is a recessive gene, and it's not unique to Corriedale, but it's the cinnamon color.
Yep, and it's really, really cool as they age too. They get lighter and lighter. So I have
they gray out just like the others do.
Right. So I'm really excited. I don't have some here to show you, but my original Morit, Brownie, very original name. Yeah. She now is super blonde because she's grayed out a lot, and so I'm thinking I'm going to keep her fleece separate. It's going to be sort of like an oatmeal rose gold light color. And then I think I have 2 Morit lambs. So I lucked out on the Morit gene pool. I have a lot of Morit. So my 2 Morit lambs are now they're 2 years old. They're not lambs, but I'm gonna combine them together into this like chocolate brown.
Perfect.
And then I'm gonna keep Maisie separate and do
you should.
a gray out of her, which Cody he's claimed.
Oh, so he's having a sweater made for him, and it's gonna be out of this?
Yeah,
oh, nice.
He wants that.
And are you gonna do 3-ply again?
I would like to, because I love how it comes out, but I want to go finer, I think, than what I did last year, which is kind of pushing it on our machinery. So we've learned a couple tricks since then with the pin drafter. If produce a lighter roving, the spinner. So I kind of use my, job to experiment.
Her sheep
a bit.
are the guinea pigs.
Yeah, so I may end up, and these are all going to be very small batches because they're just like one or two sheep's worth of fleece.
Right.
But I think what I'm going to do is spin it so that all of the single plies are like the same weight. Like it might be that I run a single.
Oh, okay.
So I've got.
So some will be 2 ply and some will be 3.
Maybe, but also just for efficiency's sake, I think I might take the spinner and do like, six bobbins full of one sheep's wool, and then do another 6 full, and then when I go to do 3 ply, I can have Brownie and Maisie and the brown lambs like all going at the same time.
Right.
So I'm not.
That's smart.
So we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
I'll keep you updated, but it's like Christmas getting to make your own.
Yeah, it is
yarn
it
here.
is the best.
What are you thinking about doing?
My first step, and right now I've driven down with the truck, and I have 32 bags of all these different color fleeces.
Yes, so that's like 6 times as much, probably more like 8 times as much fiber as I have. Because
last year it was about 220 pounds,
yeah,
or 230 pounds. So the first thing I want to do is go through it and sort it and say, okay, I know I need some white, and I know I want the very dark, like you've got.
Yep.
And then the question is, what kind of shades of gray? And I only have one Morit, and it's Jewel, and she's really, really.
You only have one Morit right now.
Yeah. We sold the Morit lambs last year, and she's so pale. So I have to think about what we're going to do.
Yeah, Jewel's fleece. I think we can show you a clip right now of her getting shorn. I think
is that the
really
one you
really light one. Yeah.
No. That was 22. That was the other magnificent.
No, I think I got Jewel too. So you might be seeing Jewel. Otherwise, we'll put it on the screen if we don't have it. But yeah, she's really lightened up. She almost looked like a white sheep, but in her face it looks.
You have to look at her nose
Morit.
to realize that she's a Morit.
It's wild. So she might just get rolled in with the whites.
I got to think about it. I got some ideas. Yeah.
Oh, it's fun.
It's great. Yeah,
I think the first time when we started this mill 2 years ago, almost to the date.
Yep.
And so the first fleeces we really took, like once we felt confident on our test fleeces we acquired.
Right. Once we'd gone through the test fleeces and screwed up a little bit here and there.
Then we started processing our own fleece, and I think I went first, and I just made roving that first time around, and I was so psyched about it, and I still to this day don't really let anyone else in the mill touch my fiber.
Come on,
it's only 5 fleeces. It takes like 2 days. Let me have my fun.
Absolutely.
But then Peg was, I remember you were carding your white fleece.
Yeah, and I just got
tears.
Very verklempt. Yeah.
Verklempt.
Yeah,
so anyways,
it's all good.
It's so exciting.
Yeah. So onward, right?
Onward, yeah. Now you've got lambing around the corner.
Yes, we do. That's why we deliberately shear about 3 weeks before lambings to begin. And one of the things that's nice about shearing is you get a chance to actually know who might be pregnant, because they're on their butts and you can see their udder, and the expression is starting to bag out. And we definitely have 11 that are pregnant.
Okay.
There should be 4 more, and either they didn't get pregnant or it's just still a little too early in the window.
Yep.
So we'll see. But now
that's fewer than you've had in the past couple of
we're
years.
starting to cut back. But they tend to twin, so we're going to have somewhere between, 24 plus lambs. Yeah, we'll keep you posted, and trust me, you'll be seeing some video of little lambs.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of sheep farmers,
one of our favorites, Tammy White of Wing and a Prayer.
Yep.
She came in to pick up her monster order of really fabulous cormo, and
she dropped off some clun.
And she dropped off some clun, which we're going to show you in a moment. But we want to. You've heard of Tammy on this Millcast a few times. We want to introduce you to Tammy, and she's going to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Tammy White from Wing and a Prayer Farm. And I'm here at the mill today because I just spent, 7 or 8 hours at a farm in New Hampshire, a friend's farm where he raises clun forest sheep. And every year when he shears all the cluns, I'm there to skirt them as they come off the sheep. So I packed it all into the car, and the fleeces that I just brought to the mill to be spun into this yarn are probably, some of them, still warm from the sheep. And they're hopefully skirted well enough. And the yarn that we're making is actually this really yummy yarn that we call Teddy Bear's Picnic in my online shop. But Junction Fiber makes it, and it's a winner, and I wear this thing constantly. So I thought we better make some more because we're all out of it. And here I am.
What a hard-working lady.
The hardest working woman. And just always, anything that is potentially a problem, she sees the bright side to it. Mm-hmm. It's remarkable. She has just such a positive outlook on life. It's incredible.
She puts in the elbow grease, and she just loves fiber. And she's also one of the biggest supporters of the fiber community.
No question.
Not only is she sheep farming, and on top of sheep, she's got some other critters too. She got alpaca and a couple others.
Yep.
But she does this organization of the Fiber Festival down in Boston.
Right. And she also has side things of making soaps, and all of her dyeing is natural dyeing, which is a big commitment.
And she grows a lot of those plants herself. It's amazing. So she's doing some really cool stuff.
She's a real inspiration.
Yeah, so I guess that's a really good segue.
Let's
talking about this, huh?
So we sent her home with her Cormo, and she dropped off some clun.
Yeah, this is not the Cormo. This is the clun.
This is the clun, and it's a nice fiber. This is on the heavier side, 3-ply.
Yeah, so you can see, hopefully you can see, there's some nice thick strands there, and they're really round like a spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I think she calls this one Teddy Bear's Picnic or something like that.
Yeah, I think she may change the name from, But she'll dye over a lot of this.
Oh, and it's so soft. I think people think of clun as just, their fiber is a little bit on the coarser side, but this is really
lovely.
Because I think they're bred for meat as well as fiber usually.
I would think they're a dual purpose.
Yeah. But this, and you know what, clun, we love it in here. It's a dream to process.
Yeah.
It causes us no headaches.
Right. There's no headaches. And most of that is because there's some crimp to it.
Yep. Crimpiness, the zigzags in the fiber, and this. Actually, we could. This
would be the opposite of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this Corriedale also has a lot of crimps, so we don't expect this to cause
and it's hard to
issues.
see it now that you've scoured it. But what it's saying is that each individual fiber has a lot of zigzag.
Yeah, this one you might be able to see.
It's even tighter than what you can see there.
I actually noticed after you scour, it does seem like
relax
some
a little.
Of it relaxes.
That's interesting.
Which is interesting.
But here's the opposite. This is border Leicester.
Yep.
And it's curly.
It's got a wave.
Yeah, it's a wave. This is, you'd say, well, that looks crimpy.
And there's a little ringlet here, but it's
right.
Really
you can actually really see the
silky.
ringlets in this. So this has been scoured, but these ringlets, it's not as crimpy. The ringlet isn't going to hang on to another ringlet.
It's more slippery.
It's
when
very
it goes
slippery.
Through the process.
So we're just about today. We'll be picking this, but we're going to blend it with a little bit of. In this case, we're going to blend it with some black merino.
Yeah.
And the merino absolutely has the crimp.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to have white added to this because they're trying to go for a darker color. So we're going to add some of this black merino. And you won't even notice it, but it will make all the difference in trying to get it through the equipment.
Yeah, what happens if we don't have enough crimp is often we just have to sit there and wait for it to break because it's not an if, it's a when. And it just, the roving as it travels through space just does not want to hold.
I will also say what we've also learned is when it has these locks, like they're individual locks with the curls, we absolutely have to pin draft this at least 2 times to really open up these locks.
Pick it?
I'm sorry, pick it. To really open up the like this, to separate this to be like that, because if we don't, over time it builds up on the back of the carder, the front end going in, and jams the carder. It's like you can set your watch on when it'll jam.
Or it's just a Friday. And
or it's a Friday.
The carder always jams on Friday.
Well, it knows.
Yeah, actually, speaking of, I've got a funny video to overdub here with Anastasia underneath the carder last Friday.
Right, because
it's Friday.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a jam, and Todd was here for a jam.
Yep, Todd. I feel like it always is Todd and Anastasia. They're doing a great job.
They manage the jams.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thankfully.
That's what it is. Yeah. So that's what's going on in the mill. Although.
One other big update, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it is a lot lighter.
It is a lot lighter, and we have a little video of the light coming into these windows. We have brand new windows on both sides that not only bring in more light, the prior windows were ancient and had practically no insulation value to them whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And these windows are, state-of-the-art windows. that
Modern
are
windows.
keeping the heat in. It's also done quite a job at helping us keep the humidity. Like it was 41, what's it now? It's at 44.
44.
Normally when I come in on a cold day like this, it's somewhere between 23 and 30.
Yep.
So to come in the mill and already be at 44 is huge.
Yeah, it's great. And like we already had pretty brand new windows out front and a brand new door. So this mill is really modernizing.
Yeah. But we still love the old character of it. The
Yes.
brick walls make us happy.
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. And also the old dusty screens are off, which you can just, we never
right.
open the windows anyway.
Now how long these windows stay this clean, TBD.
Yeah, you'll have to come visit us soon to see.
Yeah, because it is a dirty business. But anyway, yeah. So, you know what? I should have started this Millcast with this. Last Millcast, the comments that came in blew me away. We're going to talk about some of the comments that came in on recommendations, but God, there were almost 100 comments just saying, Peggy, you know, you're good and congratulations, and really very, very kind words about the story that I told about how Amanda and I really got to know each other, which involved a rather serious head injury, and the kindness of, and you guys aren't strangers because you know us now. The kindness of your comments really resonated, and I want to thank you for taking the time to post those comments. It was pretty neat.
Yeah. I think it's interesting when we're recording this here, you know, obviously it's just the two of us usually. Right. And we put it out there and just to see that it's, people care about what we're doing.
Yeah,
and they
it
care
seems
about,
to resonate.
Yeah. So thank you guys. You really make us feel connected to the community.
Absolutely.
Out there.
Huge.
Yeah.
But we did get some really great, so we had two different things we had been asking about. One was because you had been talking about seeing the Irish movie.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
Right, and how you liked the sweaters. And then we said, you guys, are there any other sweater TV or movie shows that we ought to know about? So we've got some of those. We'll just share some of them with you. One is the BBC North Ireland production, My Mother and Other Strangers. This well-done PBS drama has beautiful and unique knitwear, especially for the daughter Emma. I'd never heard of it.
Never heard of it either. Let's see.
Oh, that's a spinning group one. Here, this
Creatures Great and Small
all
on
Creatures
PBS
Great and Small,
has wonderful Fair Isle and other vests. One vest from a pattern I made in the mid-1970s. Appeared using a palette, suggested it in the original pattern that I also used. Wow, what a neat thing.
Yeah, and then there's one, I've been enjoying the knitwear on the current season of the James Herriot. I think that's James Herriot. That's the All Creatures Great and Small.
Okay.
And then there's this one.
PBS Father Brown Mysteries.
Right.
Mrs. McCarthy wears some beautiful hand knit cardigans. We will have to check those out. These are some great recommendations.
There's also, I adored the sweaters in the newest version of All Creatures Great and Small, but I also remember a few sweaters in the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society. I read that book, but I didn't see the movie, so that would be an interesting one. So the other thing we had asked for were, there was a knitting group that had stopped by here and just had a hilarious name for its knitting group. So we asked, does anybody else belong to a group with a fun name? And a couple of ones came by. My current group in Calgary, Alberta, is aptly named the Chicks with Sticks.
That's
great. How great is that?
Our employee Vicky has a bumper sticker. Have you seen it? It
No.
says, gosh, I'm gonna totally ruin it, but I carry, I carry pointy sticks and I know how to use them.
And I know how to use them.
Like that.
That's pretty good.
I don't want to admit to you how long it took me to realize that she meant knitting needles on the back of her.
Oh God, man,
I know, horrible.
That's pretty
horrible.
Good. We got one. Our spinning group in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, was named Second Saturday Spinners because we wanted everyone to know when our meeting was held every month. That's an Edith Jones title. Yeah, utilitarian, right. There's one here that I loved. When I worked at Disney, they had a knitting group called the Blanketeers, started by Annette Funicello. Can you believe that? They knit and crocheted for charity. I spent many a happy lunch hour knitting and crocheting with my fellow co-workers.
That's fun.
I just thought...
The Blanketeers.
Yeah, isn't that
perfect.
great?
Yeah, like the Mouseketeers or Imagineers
I think
or whatever.
There were probably others, but those were some we highlighted. How fun.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you guys for taking the time to comment.
So, what are we knitting?
Oh, I am knitting.
I forgot my knitting.
It happens. Todd's sweater, the one by Stephen West, is in progress. But in the meantime, I started another one. I have to start by, some of you may recognize this. This is an ancient, and
Was that from the library or is that from your house?
Well, Molly Drummond had it, but I had it because my mother had it.
Okay.
So it was a classic seamless raglan, like the whole notion that you could knit from the neck down was stunning. So it's, got all the different sizes. It's a really,
this is
how throwback.
Really throwback. So, if you come visit the mill, we can show you our library.
Well, we have a nice library.
We have a really nice knitting library that our friend Molly Drummond donated most of the books in there. And a lot of them are from this era. Or, she's got a lot of vintage patterns, which a lot of this has come back around. So it's fun to see.
All this is doing is it's just saying, how do you do a sweater neck down as a raglan style? That's all. It's, if you want to embellish it, if you want to do Fair Isle, you're on your own. So
cool.
I started thinking I was going to do your petite knit version, and I was like, I don't like the way the shoulder's working, so I picked out a color that I love in the mill. Amanda hasn't seen this at all.
Yeah.
I'm getting really excited.
Okay.
You ready?
All right. Oh, look at you.
Yeah. So I'm doing a rib sweater, like similar to yours.
Yeah, looks very similar.
But mine is raglan, with the four corners. And I'm showing you a picture right now of me trying it on, where I put that cord in here to really see how it's going.
Yep.
I need about another 2 inches before I do the armhole. But this is out of our Montadale Cheviot that we dyed.
It looks fabulous.
I love this color. I just love it. I don't know that we've named it, but to my mind it's like saffron.
Yeah.
Your rib one you were doing,
it's a little
just
higher.
Well, yes, because you have a long swan's neck. I have a short stubby neck. But yours also increases strictly along the shoulder.
Yes.
And I just wasn't feeling good about it.
It's kind of strange. And I put that one on hold because I haven't decided. It's a vest right now, and I haven't decided if or when I'm putting sleeves on it.
Well, you could do short sleeves.
Totally, could do short sleeves.
But anyway, I am loving this. It's clicking right along. Like I said, I have about 1 more inch before I'll start the armholes.
Yep.
And so that's what I am doing.
Classic Peg drafting her own pattern.
Well, it's not that big a deal, right? Because
I think it's pretty cool.
This is idiot proof.
Well, we love it.
Yeah. So that's what I'm knitting.
The reason that I forgot my knitting at home today was because I had a million things running through my mind because Maeve started daycare this morning, which is very stressful for me.
It is.
Yeah, so she's over there. They've got apps these days. I haven't gotten any pictures yet, but hopefully she's doing okay.
I'm sure she's doing fine.
It is at least a lot closer than our nanny share was, and it's 5 days a week, so we'll see how it goes.
And she's going to be able to engage with other kids in the whole socializing.
She was happy when we left her. There were some criers in there because it was a lot of kids' first days today.
Yeah.
Which the scene was a little dramatic.
Right.
But I think she will love it, and I may pick her up a little bit early today. We'll see.
And you should. It's as much of an adjustment, if not more so, for you than it is for Maeve.
Yeah.
It's hard stuff.
I know, and we just we were a little unprepared with the getting everything labeled with her name. So today I bought some custom printed cotton tab labels that I'm gonna sew onto her clothes because you get it. You're makers. I sewed a lot of her clothes. I don't want them with Sharpie on them.
I don't blame you.
It's tricky. So. Yeah.
Daycare is. Both my kids were in daycare. I worked full time. I had a 3-month maternity leave, and then you do what you got to do.
Right. And she's been on the list to get into daycare for at least 18 months, probably closer to 20 months. As in before she was born.
Well
before. I was not even showing when she was on all the daycare lists. I think it was right when we got the first ultrasound, we were sign this kid up. Yeah. So it's wild. And I think a lot of the kids whose first date was at the center were in a similar boat where they were already walking and they still hadn't been in daycare. So
it's going to be a good week for you and her.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
And we'll get in the groove. So
absolutely. And it's exactly right. There will be a groove.
Yeah. With the nanny share, it was a really good stopgap solution, and I'm so thankful that we had that opportunity to do it. But it was, it was sort of an every other day thing, and there was no groove really. So this is good.
Very good.
And it's springtime today, so
I know.
We're gonna get more daylight than darkness starting tomorrow, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. What is exciting, so spring has arrived, and I'm doing 2 big field trips this week.
Yeah, where are you going?
Well, I usually try to take Wednesday off, but I end up doing mill things because it gets me out and about. I am headed over to a farm in Heartland that is shearing on Wednesday, and they're interested in seeing if the mill would like...
what are they, Border Leicesters?
Good question. I knew you were going to ask. I think it's Border Leicester, but I'm not positive.
We're sure about that.
And I'm not even sure how many. But I'm going there to help them with shearing and to take a look at their wool, and if it's in reasonably good condition, we'll see if it's something that the mill wants to work with. There are a lot of sheep farms in the area where people love raising the sheep, but they're not particularly interested in the fiber, and those are folks that we often want to hear from, because maybe it's something that the mill can support them by acquiring their fleece. Yeah. And then my other field trip is on Friday. Instead of Saturday, I'm going to go over to Maine on Friday. Jaeger, am I pronouncing it correctly?
I think it's Jaeger.
Jaeger Mills is in Sandville. It's in Maine. It's about an hour outside of Portland. And I have tracked down some rambouillet.
Ooh, very soft stuff, kind of like merino, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very soft. It's already been scoured and washed, because one of the things we've been playing around with is there something that we can add to our Vermont fiber wool that might give it more character, might make it more softer, and I don't know anybody who's doing rambouillet around here. So I've got a chance to get this small bump for us to test with.
And that's from out west, I assume.
Yes, it's from in Nevada.
Okay.
Actually, I spoke with the ranch owner Lanny on Sunday.
Cool.
So she said, I've got a bump there at this mill. If you can figure out how to get over there, you can buy the bump. And she said, by the way, when you get over there, Greg Falls, who has a business encased inside the same mill, has some tips for you. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this mill. It's way bigger than this mill, but
if you can take pictures.
Oh, I'll absolutely take pictures. So that's going to be an exciting trip. So we'll go do there, pick up the bump, and then continue on to Portland, where I will see our grandkids. Emma turns 3 tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that.
Right, and Malcolm, as you know, is going to be 1 in April. So seeing grandkids this weekend, starting on Friday. Yeah.
And I will be here holding down the fort.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have an open house on Friday at the mill from 3 to 5. Yeah. So this is your chance to come in.
See the new windows.
Yeah, see the new windows, as well as shop our yarn. And just like last time, we actually are going to have a sort of discount bin with seconds, as well as mini skeins, which we don't have available through our website. You can shop our website anytime, but the mill, coming to the mill for the open house, getting the tour, shopping our yarns
see the
here,
equipment.
it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And Maeve will be there. Cody's gonna come help me out with Maeve and do daycare pickup and
perfect.
Yeah, so we'll be here. Hopefully we'll see some of you there. And if you found out about it through the Millcast, or if you watch it all, we always love meeting you in person. So,
absolutely.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.